Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Myra from Low Carb Love. Now, most of you know I've lost over 100 pounds. I've been maintaining my weight for over 15 years. So today I want to talk about weight loss in my 30s. So it has been quite a wild ride. I just want to talk about things that I noticed that are so different from, let's say, my 20s and when I originally started my weight loss journey. I feel like as we get older, it tends to be a little bit more difficult to lose weight. And there are a few things that have really helped me out, especially towards my late 30s, that I feel could be really beneficial to some of you. I feel like when we're in our 20s, it's super easy. Like you just, you watch what you eat over the weekend and then maybe work out a few times and you're like back to normal. Whereas I feel like going into, my late 30s, not only was it difficult for me to maintain it, but I started to actually gain weight. And I was like, what is going on here? Sure, hormones probably, play a part because our body is like always changing, right? But as we get older, we all know, we've heard it everywhere, that our metabolism starts to slow down. It's a hormone thing. It's, the stress in our lives. It's, it's just like a bunch of different little things that can contribute to not only it being a little bit more difficult for us to lose weight, but also gaining weight, right? So yeah, I would say there have been some big changes in my 30s. I would say about 4 years ago, I started to notice little by little that my jeans were getting tighter. I started to buy jeans that were a little bigger, and I tried to not let it affect me. And I was just like, it's good. We're fine, because of course we're trying to come from a place of love and always accept our bodies the way they are and as is. And sure, that all works. At the end of the day, I ended up gaining more than what I felt comfortable with. And just to make a long story short, I remember I hopped on the scale at my trainer. I had a personal trainer. I hopped on her scale and I was literally like 212 pounds. And I was like, no way. Like, there is no way. Mind you, I had maintained my weight at about 175 for probably like a solid 15 years. And, I pretty much eat the same. I love salads. I love protein. I love my sweet treats here and there. When I travel, I am definitely that person that is going to enjoy her life. I don't care what anybody says. Like, that is what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to work hard while I'm here. I'm going to, because obviously it's not just for looks, right? At the end of the day, we also want to be healthy. And so our food, you already know, food is your medicine. It could also be your disease. And so at the end of the day, I try to eat pretty healthy. But if I'm traveling, if it's my birthday, if it's a holiday, I'm going to enjoy. And then we just go back to regular programming. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to dieting or when it comes to like a new way of eating, I feel like you hear, and I know you hear this all the time, but it's definitely a lifestyle. Like if you do something kind of like a fad diet, the problem with that is if you lost your weight by, let's say, restricting your calories down to like 1,000 calories a day or 1,200 calories a day, and then you go back, so you hit your weight loss goal, and now you go back to what you were eating before, it's only a matter of time before this weight gets back to this weight. You know what I mean? And it's only because usually those fad diets or that new way of eating is not sustainable. So my way of thinking is I have to be able to do whatever it is that I'm doing long term. You guys already know I created a weight loss guide. It's what helped me so much. So if you are someone who is trying to lose weight, you want to lose weight, you don't know where to start, this approach is very much low carb, whole foods. I feel like, in my opinion, it's just very sustainable. And that's what you need in order to keep it off. And so I feel like when anyone's trying to lose weight, no one wants to lose weight and then gain it all back. You know what I mean? So I love the way I eat. And I feel like it's really helped me out. Yeah, and I'll get into it a little because I feel like food is the main Like, it really is the main thing here. Now, of course, in my 20s, I'll tell you, I slept like crap. I would get no more than 5 hours of sleep. I would be out and about. I was like literally burning the candle on both ends. Yeah, I was working out 6 days a week. It was like a whole thing, right? And sure, I maintained my weight at 175, literally living my best life and no problem. In my 30s, no sleep, stress, not going to the gym all the time. That all definitely caught up with me. Yeah, started developing like a thyroid issue. My hair was falling out. My skin was super, super dry. I mean, it was really, really bad. And all of that was contributing to weight gain. Okay, now why? Well, first of all, my gut was shot. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I talk about this all the time. 70% of our immune system lives in our gut. Now, your gut health is one of the most important things that you have to take care of. It is literally, if you are having issues with your hair thinning, it's falling out, adult acne, you're getting bloated after you eat, you're having inflammation in your joints, skin issues, most of that all stems from your gut. Okay, so I had to learn that the hard way because I was literally losing my hair. I was having patches all over. My stomach was literally getting bloated, like where I look pregnant type vibes. And so that was something that I really worked on in my 30s. Like, I really said like, okay, I cut out gluten, I cut out dairy, I cut out seed oils. You know, obviously I'm not perfect. Sometimes I go out and I want to have some fries with like my favorite ranch, you know, but instead of having like a regular burger, I have it protein style. I love chips. So instead of having, you know, just like regular chips, I try to get chips that are fried in avocado oil. And then I incorporated a high quality probiotic and prebiotic. Now, my seed is something that I take every single day. I've been taking it for almost 4 years now. I will not go a day without it because it keeps me regular. It keeps me really feeling like my best in terms of digestion. And it has both a probiotic and prebiotic in one capsule. So if you don't have a probiotic that you love and that you actually trust, I highly recommend seed. So I will leave that link in the description below. You could use my discount code. It's LCL25 and that'll get you 25% off on your order. You know, and speaking of gut health, something that I had to do that was like really difficult for me, out of nowhere, I developed a sensitivity to lactose. I just developed a sensitivity to like dairy. And guys, I love cheese. I love milk. I used to be the girl that would get like heavy cream in my coffee at Starbucks. And I'm mentioning this because sometimes we have issues with our stomach and we don't know what it is. And you feel like super uncomfortable. Like if you are someone that feels super uncomfortable after you have like ice cream, or someone that like gets super bloated after you have pasta. Like if you go to an Italian restaurant and you're having pasta, like a bowl of pasta, and then after you're like, oh my gosh, like why do I feel so bloated, or you feel like really gassy. Those are all symptoms of like a sensitivity. You don't necessarily have to be like allergic to it, but it could definitely be a sensitivity where your body is just giving you these signs that like, let's cut it out for a while. And so what I did was I really focused on my gut. I cut out dairy, I cut out gluten, and then I was actually able to reincorporate it into my diet. And so now I don't have things like, let's say, sour cream, but I would say I can pretty much eat all dairies now. Gluten is still I stay away from it, but I feel very much like normal again, because when you cannot have something that you love and you grow up eating forever, I feel like it's really, really hard. And it was actually stressing me out that I had to be so careful about not eating certain things. So that's definitely something that I dealt with in my 30s. Okay, so let's just do a little recap in terms of what I dealt with in my 30s. So definitely developed a dairy intolerance. All right, we'll call it a sensitivity. I definitely developed a dairy sensitivity, a gluten sensitivity. My gut was shot and I really had to do like a whole revamp of my gut health and my gut lining. I remember having to do a 7-day water fast. Okay. I'm taking this a little further back because these were really big things for me. Like I had to do a 7-day water fast because my gut was so bad and so inflamed that I literally thought like, is there a possibility that I can have like stomach cancer or something? Like, so anyway, those were some really, really big things for me. I would say my gut health was something that I really had to work on in my 30s. And I will say doing so, I feel like has really set me up going into this new chapter. Yeah, I would say that some of the things that I learned that I'm definitely going to take, you know, into my 40s that have really, really made a big difference, sleep. Okay, so prioritizing sleep. I am someone that is definitely up at 12, 1 in the morning, and I'm just kind of like, I know I was tired at 11. Why am I up right now? But I am. So I'm really trying to focus on getting at least 8 hours of sleep. Staying hydrated. I am so bad with drinking water, okay? So staying hydrated. We need our electrolytes and everything in our body just to be nice and balanced. I would say our protein. So protein is so important, especially as we get older. Protein is even more important because our bone density, and you just, as you get older, you start to anyway, it's a whole thing. But eating more protein is just going to help you preserve your muscle. Okay. And muscle mass is super important as you get older. So these are things that like in your 20s, you have like no clue about this. You're like, it just seems like you're going to be, you're going to be 20 forever. And so it's usually not prioritized. So sleep, we have hydration, we have focusing on protein, stress. Oh my gosh, guys, stress. Okay. I know, because I hear it all the time. It's like, oh, well, just try to avoid stress. Like how do I do that? It's just so hard. Like people, it's just like, oh, well, just try to avoid it. Like, am I going to fly out to like Mars and just like sit there alone? Because like I live a very hectic lifestyle, and I feel like it's just like natural for me to always have, like I always just have so much going on, and I know that it's just a stressor. Like it is. But I try to do things like I try to take supplements like ashwagandha, and I try to do magnesium at night. Like I definitely am trying to be proactive and take things that I know are just helping my body cope with the natural stressors of life, But these are things that in our 30s can definitely impact your weight loss, and not only weight loss, but weight gain. And so if we know what they are, then we can be a little bit better about like tackling those things so that we're not only able to maintain weight, but if our goal is to lose weight, we could do that successfully. Okay, so I feel like I was a little all over the place. That's just kind of how my brain works, but I hope I was able to get my point across. I don't really feel that there's a lot of people talking about like weight loss as you get older. And I know that it's definitely been a thing for me. It's definitely been a bit of a challenge from when I was in my 20s. And I just wanted to share this with you because I want you to know that you're not alone. I've definitely struggled in my 30s. My 30s were probably like so far, they have just been such a learning experience for me. Like I have gained so much knowledge that I'm gonna take on into my 40s, 50s, 60s, like just for the rest of my life. So the shift that I made in the last year and a half is what I think has been one of the biggest changes that I will implement in my life for the rest of my life. And that is, so just from shifting from low carb to now eating whole foods. And you guys know I talk about this all the time. It's the ground beef, it's the healthy fats like avocado, the eggs, chicken, salmon, veggies. These are the things that have worked for me. And don't get me wrong, I still love to have, my little treats here and there, but instead of having chips, like I mentioned before, that are fried in like seed oils, I now look for brands that are fried in avocado oil, coconut oil, olive oil, because they don't hurt my stomach, they don't inflame my gut, they don't make me feel sluggish. So I would say that if there's one thing that you take away from this video, it has to be that your food is the most important thing. Like that is literally what is going to change it all for you. If you don't know where to start, I have my weight loss guide. I'll leave it linked in the description below. You could literally use that like every day. I like hold your hand and take you through the process because I know I've been there. I've done that. I know what it's like to not know where to start and you're just trying to figure it out. So that's exactly why I put that together. And you know, from there, I would say after your food, I would say stress, sleep, making sure that you stay hydrated. If you can move your body, do it. You're going to feel better. You're going to build muscle. All of that just helps. It's kind of like it all works together, but just know that eating processed foods is a stressor on your body. And so even if you're like, well, I live a great life, like I don't even stress out about anything, but you're eating junk, well, the junk food is a stressor on your body. So that could be contributing to weight gain or to any of the symptoms that I mentioned that I was going through when my gut was just, you know, just shot. So I hope that that just all makes sense. I really just wanted to talk to you guys about this because I just want to share like what my journey has been and what I'm doing now and what I'm going to be doing moving forward. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have anything that you want to share, maybe some struggles that you have dealt with in your 30s, 40s, 50s, comment down below. I love to read through your comments. If you have someone that is starting a weight loss journey, friends or family, share my channel, share this video with them. You never know. Things like this could be really, really helpful for them. But thank you so much for being here. I love you, and I'll see you on my next video. Mwah.